everyone, welcome to my channel, and in this video we will continue with money and banking, and we'll start with commercial banks and central banks, their functions. And okay, so straight away, like we will start with what are commercial banks. Let's try to first understand the meaning of this. A commercial bank is an institution which accepts deposits and give loans to the public. They are one of the most important institutions and deal directly with the bank. So the first sentence you should write in the exam, if you get, that it is an institution which accepts deposits and give loans to the people. Now people here, we are all people, and it deals directly with the public. I mean, we can open our accounts in these banks, and the interest rates which are paid by these banks are generally lower, and the difference between the because they charge two types of interest, one for the depositors and one for the borrowers, and the interest rate charged to the borrowers are generally more than the depositors. So the difference of the interest rate is called spread. Now this ये शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन में आपको बहुत बार मिलता है कि व्हाट इज स्प्रेड. सो ये आपको ध्यान में रखना है. दिस इज बेसिकली द प्रॉफिट अर्न्ड बाय द बैंक. Okay, so these are all few examples of commercial banks like State Bank of India, Punjab National Banks, SDFC, UCO, like that. Okay, let's see few important functions of commercial banks. Okay, the first function is accepting deposits, and this is the most important function of a commercial bank. It accepts public deposits. A person can open an account with this bank and can deposit his money, and there are different types of accounts which can be maintained in these banks, like savings account, current account, recurring account, and fixed deposit account. And the interest rate which is given by the bank varies with different deposits. So the first function is to accept deposit. The second function is granting loans. Okay, now this is also again a very primary function of commercial bank, that it gives loans and advances to the public at a very nominal rate of interest, and these loans may be cash credit, overdraft, mortgage loans, or home loans. So there are many types of loans given by the commercial banks. So I have written here a few different types of loans. Okay, this is the second function. The third function is credit creation. It accepts deposit from the people and grants loan to them, and commercial banks mediate between the individuals or firms with the excess funds and lends to those who need the fund, and the difference in the rate is called spread or profit of the commercial bank. So in this way, commercial banks helps to mobilize the public savings and helps in credit creation. So these are few important lines which you can write in this particular point. The fourth function of commercial bank is transfer of funds. It helps to transfer funds from one customer to the other by way of checks, draft, cash order, DD. There are so many ways by which the commercial banks helps to transfer the fund from one bank to the other. Okay, the fifth function is agency function, where the bank acts as an agent for the account holder. I mean, while paying the insurance premium bill or electric bill or telephone bills. So these are all agency function. The bank acts as an agent. Okay, one more type of function is there, that is miscellaneous function, that it also provides facilities like locker facility, dealing in foreign exchange, then advisory functions are there. So these are few miscellaneous functions of commercial bank. Okay, so let's move on to the next type of bank, and this is central bank. This is the apex bank of a country. These are the keywords that you should use in your explanation, and it regulates and controls the whole banking system of a country. It coordinates the working of all the commercial banks and other banks, and it is basically owned and managed by the government. And in case of India, it is known as RBI, Reserve Bank of India, and this bank is the highest bank in a country, and it is also known as Bank of Bankers. And as far as RBI is concerned, it was first established in 1935, Reserve Bank of India. So it is the highest bank, the apex bank of a country, and basically it is owned and managed by the government of a country. Let's see the important functions of a central bank. The first function is issue of currency. Now, as the name implies, this bank has the power to print and issue currency in a country. Now, how much currency it should print and circulate, so that depends on the economic circumstances and balance of payment of the country. The second important function is credit control. It controls the loans and credits given by the commercial banks in a country, and it always tries to control if there is a inflation or deflation in the country. So it tries to control the amount of credit that should be distributed or given to the common people. Okay, so basically the main object is to stabilize the economic conditions in a country. The third function is banker to the government. It accepts only government deposits and gives loans to them, and the central bank keeps the record of government expenditure and incomes, and in short, the government has an account in this bank. So common public cannot open their accounts in central bank. Only the government, the central government or the state government can open account here. They can deposit, they can take loans. The fourth important function, banker to bank. That means the central bank accepts deposits and give loans to the commercial banks. It regulates and controls the operations of these banks. It also gives them advices whenever required, and all the commercial banks have to maintain an account in this bank. So this is bankers to bank. I mean, all the commercial banks, they are, they have their account in the commercial bank, I mean central bank. So it provides them a lot of services, so like that. Okay. The fifth function is lender of last resort. This is a very important function. Basically, the RBI or the central bank has the power to issue currency in a country, and it provides loans to the commercial bank through various instruments whenever they need. And it stands tall when there are financial crises in an economy, and this important function of the central bank is known as lender of last resort. That means whenever the economic conditions of a country or a commercial bank is deteriorating, is not good, the RBI comes into act. It tries to save the country, it tries to stabilize the economic conditions of the country, so like that. So it is the lender of the last resort. When जब commercial banks को कहीं से भी help नहीं मिलती, तो they always try to knock the doors of a central bank. The sixth important function is custodian of foreign exchange. The central bank also manages and controls the flow of foreign exchange in the country. It maintains the reserves of foreign exchange and gold, and it can also buy and sell gold to foreign countries. Okay, so these are the important functions. Now let's move on to the difference between the commercial bank and central bank. Very easy question. If you get in the exam, then we can easily write. Commercial bank, it accepts deposits and give loans to common people, whereas a central bank, it accepts deposit and gives loans to the government and commercial banks. Simple one. Commercial banks are generally owned and managed by both private individuals or the government, and central bank is basically owned and managed by the government of a country. A central bank, a commercial banks cannot issue currency in a country, whereas the central bank has all the power to issue currency notes in a country. Commercial banks creates credit, but a central bank controls the credit. And the next point is they compete with one another. All these commercial banks, there are so many banks that try to compete with one another, but there is only one central bank in a country. There are no competitions, it has the monopoly. And lastly, public can open accounts in commercial banks, whereas only the government and commercial bank can open their accounts in a central bank. So that's all in this video, and see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care.